Hadley, thank you again. Last night was, you walked me through what you were feeling in that moment, because that's the biggest stage that you could be on.
Yeah, it was surreal, and it was such an honor to be up there with Amanda and Josh and Caitlin and share the stage in such a powerful way, but so different stories. But they all come together and really show you that women just need our freedom. And that was so powerful, and to feel the energy in the arena, to feel that we were being heard and we were allowing so many people in the audience to be seen and be heard, and they didn't even have to say anything. Like, that is just, a dream for little me who used to search for something like that. And so I tried all day to kind of just really soak in the moments and think like, wow, like you really made it here. Like you really did this. And I just find myself being so grateful, because there were times I didn't think I would even make it to the age of 22. Like, all seriousness. And that, I'm sure there are so many other survivors who could say the same thing. But to be here, to be taking my power back, and to be giving so many other women and girls and even men their power, like that, just I'm so honored. But I wouldn't be here without so many other people, and it really takes everybody. And yesterday showed that there were so many parts, so many people were involved. It was only flowing because everybody was involved, everybody was on the same page and working together. And it was real special to be a part of seeing America come together, because we're all from different places. A lot of us had never met each other, and it was honestly just like catching up with old friends and meeting people that I've known forever.
It was comfortable.
Very comfortable and welcoming, and just knew that my story was taken care of in that building.
You said something just now before the interview started that I thought was just it really speaks to the reality of this, is that you believe you are speaking for so many Kentucky girls who don't have that platform. Can you walk me through that responsibility that you feel?
I look at it as I had my choice, I had my options, and I'm very blessed to have that. And now there are many little girls who don't have that. They don't have that voice, and I know what that feels like, to want to be able to scream and to maybe feel like you are screaming but nobody can hear you. And I just know that, especially with all the stuff in the media and it being so controversial, I could not imagine a current survivor going through it right now who's pregnant or maybe just miscarried and getting on that platform because of how society does tear you apart. It's cruel. So, I feel like I owe it to them, and I owe it to myself, because little me already went through the hard part. She got me through. So why not continue to carry on and show everybody how to heal? And that's really my goal. And there are so many other stories of women who had wanted pregnancies, and they tell their stories so courageously, so amazing. And I'm so grateful that they get on their platform and do that as well. But for the survivors, the statistics are still thrown around, or this only accounts for 1%, or whatever that may be. And all those survivors see out of those comments are, well, you don't matter, because even if you are in that 1%, which is such a false statistic, let me say, you don't matter, but you do. And that's really just the light that I want to shine, is you do matter. It doesn't matter what kind of story you're going through, how long it's been going on, when it happened, your story still matters.
And you feel like you're the same person who has the same story, but yet the platform has just grown. Was there a moment on that stage yesterday where you really let it sink in, be like, I have a real opportunity here, unlike any I've had before?
It was the moment when I said survivor. I almost teared up a little bit, and I usually don't do that on stage or in the media. And it was really amazing to feel it was like a hug, when I said survivor and I heard the clapping and I heard the commentary. I kind of sat there and I soaked it in for a moment, and I was just like, all of that damage is going to change the world. And, that's just really my biggest goal. And, I've already went through what I went through, and to be able to stand on that stage and tell the world what I went through when there was a time when nobody would even hear my voice as a little girl, like that's so special, and it's so amazing to be able to see that progress and to know that you don't have to come from a special family, you don't have to come from politics, you don't have to come from the right perfect school. You know, you can really just use your voice and be you, and the world will listen. And I feel like with the people that we're about to have in power, that you'll see a lot more of the youth really being heard and being seen.
What was last night like leading up to it? You talked about y'all were just kind of waiting back, order was switching, the governor's like, why are we doing it this way? Can you walk me through, like, take me back, paint the scene for me behind the scenes?
Well, first of all, the convention itself is so huge, so all props to whoever does organize it all, because it would have been a lot worse had I been in charge. But it was so crazy, you know, so many people, so much excitement, things change as it goes on. Vice President Harris made a surprise appearance, and that was so amazing. But really, you know, Secret Service is everywhere. You're backstage, you're hanging out with everybody, you're seeing content creators, you're seeing speakers. You know, we had somebody come in the room and say, hey, clear the room, Reverend Jesse Jackson's coming in. We're like, all right, we'll clear the space. Like, you know, can we meet him? You know, and it's just it's so cool. You're just walking down the hallway, and it's somebody who's so powerful and so impactful, and they look at you and they say hello. They don't know who I am. I'm a 22-year-old girl, and I've never been in a convention ever in my life. I've never been in any form of like Young Democrats or any type of organization to be a political face, and they still look at me and say, hi, how are you? And that's just so special, and to be a part of that was so cool. And being backstage, and you know, they're helping with everything, and they're helping get you prepped, and Governor Beshear kept checking on me and saying, you know, are you good? How are we feeling? And everything.
What was that like?
So amazing. First of all, he's one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met in my entire life. It does not matter what it's about. If I need something, he will answer the call, he will answer the text, anything. Last week he was helping me with like buying my first house. Like I was looking into that. He was helping me talk about like.
He was helping you buy your first house.
He was like giving me advice and like interest rates and stuff, and like helping.
He's an attorney by trade. He knows what he's
yes,
doing.
he does. He was just, you know, like giving me like father-like advice, and that's so special. And he has a daughter and a son, of course, but his daughter is so blessed to have him as a father, because, you know, if I would have had some sort of foundation of a family like the Beshears, you know, that is just, they're so special to have in my life, and I'm so grateful for them. But we were in hair and makeup, and Governor Beshear, I introduced him to Amanda, who spoke on the stage with me, and he said, hi, I'm Andy, I'm Hadley's friend. And I said, he's the governor of Kentucky. My friend, yes, but like, sir. And you know, he doesn't care about that. He wants them to know, like, Hadley and I are friends, and you know, like his team is all about that, and they're just very personable, and they will always hold a very special place in my heart.
And you guys have that line of communication whenever you need it.
Absolutely, yes, and he has made it more than clear to me from the first day that we met. He gave me his personal number, and he said, you call me anytime, you text me anytime. You want to stop doing advocacy, if you want the ad pulled, we'll take it off. It does not matter, you let me know. Even in the beginning of the advocacy, they made a Google sheet of all the positive comments, so I wouldn't look at the negativity. And that was really special.
That's good advice too.
Yes.
Just a few more topics here. I mean, you just talked to me about your followers, right? 5,000, 11,000, boom, overnight. Walk me through, I mean, you follow the vice president, now presidential nominee for the Democrats. I mean, you're on the road. I mean, what does that feel like? Do you feel any different? I mean, what's that process? It's been a whirlwind.
I feel like there's a part of me seeing that's never been seen before, and I can feel myself giving that power to so many other people in America, and that is so special. I'm so honored to be able to do that. I went through something very traumatic to get to this point, don't get me wrong, and I will always be healing from that, but regardless, I've had so many people say, oh, you could have went down such a different path. And I want to get that stigma out. I don't want it to be, oh, you're a survivor of whatever, some sort of sexual violence, domestic violence, doesn't matter. Your statistics, you're already put into a certain box of what you may be. And that's not fair. And so I became a first-generation college student, or college graduate. I became a college soccer player. I just recently got my degree in psychology and definitely joined the campaign team completely and have really dove into being a full-time advocate. And you know, I never thought I could get to this point, but I look back and I want to know why I didn't think I could. You know, who told me I couldn't? And it's the statistics. It's society saying, oh, well, you've been through something so horrible, so you probably won't make it very far. And like, watch me, I will. So it's really special to be able to do that, and to be able to do that on a media platform so other people can see that, and other people can message me and get tips and get help, and I can share my platform with them, because this is a we thing. This is not a me. You know, this is a we, 100%. Nobody can change the law by themselves, and you know, Kentucky gave us the picture of why we don't need it at the state level, and why it needs to. We just need to reinstate Roe and get out of women's business. Kentucky gave us the exact reason for that when they didn't hear out Hadley's law. And you know, that is why it doesn't work. So to be able to come on this level, and you know, they wouldn't hear me at the state level, maybe they'll hear me at the national level. If not, the survivors do. And you know, there's always hate comments, but I don't really read the hate comments, but their daughters read those hate comments. Their wives and their sisters read those hate comments, so.
Abortion is on the ballot in roughly about a dozen states this November, maybe a little less. What's on the line here?
On the line would be women's health care as we know it. I mean, it is a very scary time to be in the reproductive age right now. And that just continues to get more scary when we put things like this on the ballot. And you know, when the people are truly heard, we know that we win. We know that the mass majority agree in reproductive freedom. So it's really, I'm glad that we're getting to hear the people, but it's so sad that we're having to backtrack, and that, you know, we had to get on stage last night and tell those traumatic stories. And if that doesn't show what's on the line, if that doesn't show what's at stake, I'm not really sure what else could.
What's next for Hadley Duvall in the next 6 months to a year? Obviously, you want Kamala Harris to be elected, and you're going to do, but walk me through your schedule for the next 3 to 6 months.
I will continue to advocate and be a surrogate for the campaign, and go, you know, wherever we have some things that we might be doing at the Kentucky level. I'm helping some local people as well in their elections and everything, and I'm helping work with some policies and stuff like that. So I'm not just helping at the presidential level, I am helping at the local level, because Kentucky means so much to me, and I just want to be able to pour into both. I do plan to start looking into writing a book soon, so yeah, that's been put on the table. So I'm going to be looking into that and just continuing to speak and lifting anybody who needs it.
And you said you just got your degree in psychology?
Yes.
Congratulations. Where did you graduate from again?
Midway University.
Midway University. So what, you know, obviously this takes up so much of your time. I mean, is this going to be is advocacy going to be full-time, or are you going to try to do, you know, like what's that
I've never planned for it to be full-time, especially not with the political stuff, but
things have changed a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, this has made me found myself in a way I never thought was possible. And I was planning to go to grad school starting this month in August for social work, but I have postponed that at least through the election so that I can continue to pour into the advocacy. And, you know, because this is just so much, I can't change when the election is, but I can change the start date of school. But, you know, if I get the opportunity to make this out of a career full-time, absolutely. You know, I'm not against any door that could open. And I just try not to say, oh, I'm trying not to plan it out, because with this, everything changes so fast and so quick. And I mean, even 2 weeks ago, I couldn't have told you that I would have been at the convention. So it's just so surreal and so crazy.
Just for a moment, if I may ask, like, is it hard for you? Because you put on a smile, you're obviously a bubbly personality, you're a very good speaker, but it's got to be taxing on you, because now so many stories are riding on your shoulders. I mean, do you feel that kind of pressure, or do you just try not to let it show?
I feel the pressure, but then I think of what I used to feel and what I used to go through. And if little me can get through the 10 years that I got through, then I can get through carrying the women and the girls through society and through the hate, and hopefully get our reproductive freedom back.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No,
Melissa, do you have any
I'm
questions?
Good. I guess just my last thing was, whenever you did get to introduce Annie, what did it feel like to be able to do that? Because your relationship is so special.
It was really, full circle, and he and I were actually having that conversation backstage. He said, like, wow, what a year. Just a year ago, I was in Louisville cutting an ad for Governor Beshear, and it aired in September of last year, and that to now be here in August, not even a full year later, and Governor Beshear was a potential VP pick, and he has helped Kentucky so much. He has grown such an amazing following from being on the national spotlight and running his campaign on something so controversial, and all props to him for doing that, and I can't say that enough. But
because you called him a defender of women's, I mean, that's a strong statement, and I'm
absolutely.
sure you stand by that.
Absolutely, I do. The day after the election, or maybe 2 days after the election, Senator Yates and Governor Beshear immediately started working on Hadley's Law. And I wasn't even aware of that. They didn't boast that to me. They didn't brag that to me. They worked on it very, very hard. And then they added me into it to get my advice and everything. But they did the work. And they didn't do it in front of a camera. They didn't do it on social media. They still probably have never really even told anybody that that's how quickly that they got started. They absolutely did. And they both know that that's not an end-all be-all. Hadley's Law doesn't give us what we want, but it's a start. It gives us a little bit of what we want, just a little bit, and then we can grow from there. But being able to really bring his name to light and stand with him and defend him on that stage was very special to me, because I know that he has probably defended me countless of times, not even in front of a camera, behind closed doors when I didn't even know about it. And I will always do the same for him. He has never, not one time, showed that he doesn't have his best interest for women. He takes care of his daughter. He takes care of his wife. He's a family man. He is very personable, and I would not have wanted anybody else to be up there with me at the start of my journey. He has led me and guided me in so much. So to be able to share that stage with him, just for a second, and introduce him and give him that warm welcoming, and so many amazing people from Kentucky were there, and it really was just so special.